What is happening, everybody? It's the Miami Football Fanatic here again. Happy to have you guys back. And today, the Miami Dolphins Jarvis Landry saga that's dragged on for the past couple of weeks at least has come to an end. We've sent him to the Cleveland Browns in exchange for a fourth-round pick, which has now come out to be the 123rd overall pick, and a 7th-round pick for next year. So a 2018 4th-round pick and a 2019 7th-round pick. Too bad we couldn't get the Browns' first fourth-round pick, which is 101 overall, but we still got our 4th-round pick back that we sent out for Quinn, Robert Quinn of formerly the Rams, now the Dolphins. But personally for me, this is a bit of a sad day as a Dolphins fan. Jarvis has been a massive fan of mine the past 4 years. I mean, I've loved him ever since he stepped on the field for training camp for the Dolphins in his rookie year. The guy's just been an incredible Dolphin and just a stand-up professional player. But yeah, like in my previous video, I really thought the Browns were a big player for Jarvis with all that draft capital they've got. And they also ended up today trading for Tyrod Taylor, a 3rd-round pick, which is, obviously quarterbacks are much more valuable players than wide receivers. So the Bills were able to get a 3rd-round pick, and too bad we couldn't get a bloody 3rd-round pick out of the Browns. I mean, 4th round is alright, but I don't think it's great compensation for Jarvis. Just like how I thought the Jay trade should have at least been maybe a 3rd-round pick, but probably because he's a running back, they aren't valued as much as a high-end receiver or a quarterback like Tyrod Taylor, who has been pretty solid the last 3 years for the Bills. But yeah, all the teams that were in play, I guess the team that was just willing to take on Landry and his $16 million cap hit. Oh yeah, that's what I forgot to say. I was gonna say that we've traded the 16 mil franchise tag away, so that's always great. We got that 16 mil now to maybe sign a linebacker or a guard, like a Tahir Whitehead or Preston Brown, Todd Davis of the Broncos, or Avery Williamson, formerly currently the Titans, but he might be formerly, seeing how free agency goes. But that's definitely a positive to take away from this trade, opening up 16 mil in cap space. A number of things we can do, or we could just carry over that cap space to next year, but we definitely have to be signing a bunch of solid free agents. Also gives us room maybe to sign a free agent running back like a Dion Lewis or Jeremy Hill, the big power back from the Bengals. And who knows, they might even take a look at Carlos Hyde now that we've got rid of Jarvis and got rid of that 16 mil, and with the release of Julius Thomas and Lawrence Timmons, and possibly restructuring Ryan Tannehill, Ndamukong Suh, Kiko Alonso, Andre Branch, we should have much more money to maybe even offer a dynamic running back like Carlos Hyde a nice contract, somewhere starting around 5 mil, but he might even demand much more than that. I memean, Carlos Hyde is a really talented back, and he's a great power back who's got the ability to match, or maybe even Jerick McKinnon from Minnesota. But if I was the Vikings, I'd go ahead and re-sign. Actually, they don't even need him. They got Dalvin Cook coming back from ACL, so they probably won't even need him. So there could be even more an incentive to sign him. But yeah, that's one positive takeaway. I know it is a huge bummer losing a player of his caliber, a Pro Bowl player, a guy who has just been truly dynamic. Even though he has averaged around 10.3 yards per catch, his impact, goes way past just catching the football. The guy really was the heart and soul of the team. He really got the offense going at times. He kind of instilled, helped Devante Parker to kind of get on track at the start of the year before his injury. So hopefully some of his his habits and his work habits and his work studies and things like that carry on to Devante Parker. His work ethic, hopefully it helps out with the younger dudes like and Leonte Carew. But truly is a sad day. I would have rather have seen him, sign a long-term contract, but it was going to be incredibly hard to do, especially with him catching the most, passes in NFL history in his first 4 seasons. We really should have re-signed him after his 3rd year. That really would have gave us a better chance to retain him, but this is where we see ourselves now. So looks like now we're probably looking for a wide receiver, probably in the draft. But luckily this year there's a number of guys we can replace Jarvis with. Christian Kirk is one of the guys from Texas A&M. That guy is incredibly dynamic, much more faster than Landry. He tested out as a 4.4 speed guy, but he definitely plays much faster than that. Like, he's truly electric. That there's those guys who they play football like much faster than their 40. Like, there's guys that are track fast, like that are 40 time fast, and there's guys that are football fast. And Jarvis definitely was a football fast player. I mean, he ran a 4.77 at the combine, but he showed, especially in his first year, averaging 28 yards per kick return. The guy, is a football player. And that's exactly what you want. You shouldn't just be judging a guy by his 40 time. But back to the college players, Deshaun Hamilton. That's a guy I really like. I mean, I think he's got similar talent to Calvin Ridley. Maybe not as fast as Calvin Ridley, but Deshaun Hamilton from Penn State. That guy can run incredible routes. Like, his route running ability right now is like pro ready, and he's got the speed to match running a 4.5. Deshaun Hamilton is a perfect slot wide receiver. He played the slot mostly for Penn State, and he was just absolutely great this year, catching 9 touchdowns. That's another option. There's another couple guys who we could replace Landry with, but it's escaping my mind at the moment. Obviously, Calvin Ridley would be another guy, but I don't see us taking a first-round wide receiver. And Calvin Ridley's probably going to go in the first 20 picks, so that definitely isn't an option for us. But yeah, there is another couple guys, but can't really think about it at the moment. But I guess the 4th round pick is kind of great conversation, but we kind of did get finessed again, like we did in the Ajayi trade. But what can you do? Mike Tenenbaum and this front office, they're incredibly inept. I don't know, just their foresight and they're just doing a terrible job, and it's just not looking great. The only way we're going to improve is to honestly just rebuild over a couple of years and just bring in the guys that we need and get a couple good draft classes in. It's not going to work with Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, all you Ryan Tannehill fans, but it just isn't happening. Tannehill isn't the guy for us. I mean, he's a talented guy. He's got some physical tools, pretty solid arm. He has been durable up to his past 2 knee injuries, but now you can't really call him durable now that he has had 2 ACL injuries. But the way we're going now, we're just going to be a 7-9, 8-8, 7-9, 9-7 team, and that just doesn't get you anywhere. That's what we've been the past 15 years, a mediocre team. If you really want to make something happen, honestly, the thing to do would be to trade up in the first round and grab one of those incredibly solid quarterbacks. And the only guy, in my opinion, who's worthy of doing that is Sam Darnold. That guy is just a generational talent. Reminds me a lot of Matthew Stafford, just like the physical ability and the way that they can make throws on the run and just make something out of nothing. And kind of similar to Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, Sam Darnold is the only guy who I could see us moving up for, and that is the only guy who would transform this team. I mean, look what's happened to the Rams now that Jared Goff, had a great second year. Carson Wentz, obviously a top talent. The Eagles traded up to grab him. If you have a conviction that a quarterback will truly change the culture of your team and just the trajectory of the team, you have to go ahead and do it. And Ryan Tannehill definitely isn't that guy. Baker Mayfield isn't the guy. Josh Rosen, he reminds me a lot of Matt Ryan. he needs like a good, solid offensive line, great weapons to truly be a good quarterback. But Sam Darnold is just a dynamic talent that could get it done pretty early on. He's got the physical tools to just get out of the pocket when things break down. Tannehill has shown that he doesn't have the instincts to get out of the pocket when things break down. He's a great athlete, but just doesn't have the pocket awareness. He kind of did improve that in 2016, but if a guy doesn't have that embedded in his DNA, there's not much you can do. So, yeah, that's pretty much my opinion on the situation. Sad to see Jarvis leave. Really don't think the compensation was great, getting a 2018 fourth round pick, 123rd overall, and then getting a 7th round pick, which just really isn't worth nothing. I mean, it's 7th round picks are like similar to undrafted free agents, so don't really see the point. Should have at least got a 5th round pick, but that wasn't going to happen, as the Browns just obviously aren't willing to give up their, great value picks. They still got their 2 top 5 first round picks and then 3 second round picks. So the Browns are just laughing all the way to the bank with their awesome draft capital they've got, and hopefully John Dorsey and co doesn't F it up. Alrighty guys, that's it for this one. Farewell to Jarvis Juice Landry. It's been great seeing him play for the Dolphins the last 4 years, but it's time to move on and look to the future. Alrighty guys, as always, fins up baby.